name is Kyler Hill.
My name is Caleb Johnson. We're trying to help Eddie's Grill get more customers. YouTube ads cost about $1,000 per 10,000 people that watch Eddie's Grill advertisement. And 1 million people watch YouTube every month.
We will put ads and merch online for Eddie's Grill. The average cost per click is $1 through $2. Google ads spend between $9,000 and $10,000 per month. That's $100,000 to $120,000 per year. We were thinking about putting Eddie's Grill merch on their website. Also, we thought about more merch items that younger kids would like.
More seating will cost $500 for a lower quarter seat, and a medium seat will cost $1,452. You could add more outside seats, so you will not change the original look for Eddie's Grill.
If you add more room, you will have more space to cook and possibly work faster, so customers will be happier. More rooms means more seating.
That's it.
Okay. So, well, thank you very much for your presentation. And so we have a few questions here for you here. So you came out and you toured the grill and you saw the cooking space that we had, the horseshoe here. You remember that? We talked about how many persons we could fit in there, and we talked about probably a maximum about 4 people. If you have a big guy like me, maybe even less. Okay. So you would expand that grill area, is that right? How would you expand that?
Like, possibly make it like, instead of making it that shape, there could be like a bigger area to make.
A bigger area, but you understand where I'm coming from here. It's like, where would we expand it at? Do we expand into that front counter seating? Do we expand out into the area where persons take orders? What would you suggest on that?
Well, if you make it the grill bigger, like so you could fit more people there, like you could have people who are ordering in the same place as the cooking. So like you take out the horseshoe and you make the cooking onto places where the people won't order, like on the opposite side.
So that people could actually then come up to the counter, order, and then see the cooking occurring right there. Okay.
So I have a question about the YouTube issue, your first slide here. And my question is this: in regard to putting an ad or video, I just say a video, onto YouTube, what amount of time do you think you would make, say for instance, a video of Eddie's Grill? What would you incorporate into that video? How long would you make it be to pique a person's interest to come to Eddie's Grill? Any ideas on the length of time you might think for a video? Would it be short, long? What do you think?
Like short, like 30-second video, because like if you would make more time, it would cost a lot more. And yeah.
And also, if the ads were long, people would probably skip the ad if they wanted just to get right in the video, because they probably wouldn't want to just see a really long ad.
So persons have short attention spans, so 30 seconds would be about the proper
Video
amount of
of
time.
Eddie's Grill and focusing on.
What? Yeah, what would you suggest? What should that 30-second ad have?
Like the people cooking and people smiling and eating, talking.
And showing the original place, because probably people would like to see a really original place.
Okay.
Point.
So now let's talk about here with respect to cost here. How much would you expect that, or would you suggest that we should spend per month towards a YouTube advertisement campaign?
Maybe make like two ads a year.
Okay.
Because if you make a lot, then you're going to be running out of money for the resources for the food.
Okay, so how much, and I'll be honest with you, this is something that we haven't considered. We haven't ever considered something like a Google advertisement, so I know nothing about it, okay? Absolutely nothing about it. So you know infinitely more than what I know, because I know nothing, okay? So, you were talking about what the average costs are. So is this something where it's an unknown cost to us, meaning that it's all dependent on how many persons click onto this video? Is that right? And Google then would charge us $1 to $2 per click? Is that right? Well, how many clicks would persons have on our 30-second spot?
A lot.
A lot. Okay. So I'm curious about, one of the things that we've done is we've advertised on Facebook. Like we'll send off a Facebook post like at the start of the season and the end of the season to say when we're open and we're closed. And that's based on persons liking your place. And if they've liked you, it automatically goes to you for no cost. That hits maybe about 10,000 people. How many people do you think will come to this YouTube site?
Millions?
Millions. Okay. Wow. Okay. Good. Okay.
What led you to that idea? How did you come up with that idea of clicks on a YouTube site?
So, there's a lot of people here and other places that have YouTube channels that play games and show their lives, and throughout that there's different ads for bigger businesses.
So one more question, and that is you suggested expanding the seating as we have more and more customers that come from this ad campaign. Where should that increased seating occur at? Where at?
The back area behind Eddie's Grill where there's that little small parking lot, you should take that out and add more seating out there, because usually 5 people park there and a lot of people can park in the front. And if you make more room back there, more people will stay there and eat the food while it's warm.
Now, I think that's a great idea, and I'm going to ask one other question, and that is, if we have customers that have mobility concerns, that's part of the parking that's back there. So where would you suggest, if we did do that, where would you suggest that persons that have mobility concerns, where they would park at? You know what I mean when I say that here? Someone who maybe has to, walk with a cane, for instance.
Maybe make a little area where you could drop off somebody.
Okay, a drop-off area? Okay. Well, very good. Thank you for your
Great thought.
presentation.
Thank you very much. Just introduce me, just so people know I'm here.
My name is Adam Hamilton.
I'm Tim Roberta.
And I'm Joseph Square.
28% of words in advertisements are actually read.
We have a pie chart up here that says which percentage actually read that is not actually read.
The farther away from Geneva, the less well-known Eddie's Grill is. With the campaign method, this may double in size.
4 out of 10 clients claim that they follow their favorite brands on social media.
And if you have a slogan, words will stick better.
So what does this mean? Create a campaign. Here is why.
It fits the criteria. It doesn't change Eddie's Grill, it shouldn't at all, actually. It is extremely compatible with all forms of advertising. It's very effective, and it's inexpensive.
See, it will not change nutrition at all. This will not affect the restaurant. Keep in mind the campaign is in
in advertising movement. Advertising campaigns were even present in the 50s, easily possible to add the vintage style with campaigns.
Compatible with all types of advertising. This includes social media, videos, pictures, and newspapers, online ads, etc. Billboards, signs, any advertisement method you can imagine.
Advertising campaigns are extremely effective. Companies, like the larger companies, make millions off of these. And due to their flexibility, they are seen on every platform, as we already mentioned. And some even find ad campaigns to be the best form yet, and looked on the website and that's what it says.
See, they are inexpensive. Although this may not be the least inexpensive thing, it's still down there. See, you can even start a successful one for freely, though highly unlikely. The flexibility of this method can help significantly. $1,000 will easily get you far.
Our submission.
Just to mention, advertising campaigns can be very abstract, so that's just something I want you to know. So for our whole idea we could put is our hot dog is longer than a blank. So you replace this with a thing, and then it could be a picture or video or something depicting a character using that thing and replacing it with a hot dog. So if they're brushing their teeth, they do it with a hot dog. And we see a lot of this will form in the bigger advertisements that succeed.
And that is the conclusion. We hope that you will consider utilizing our suggestions in the future, and ours may just be used as an example.
Thank you very much. Well done.
So first thing I'll say here is I very much appreciate this program and also where you started off with this about how it is that we learn. Because here you in an educational setting, it's interesting to think about that you're only going to learn 20% or 28% of what it is that you view. It's interesting. So when we talk about learning broadly, it's not only what you view and what you read, but also by learning by doing. That's how we usually learn, is learning by doing. So I think that's a very key point here. And isn't that what you're doing here today? Right? You probably learned a lot here by doing this and we're giving a presentation. And you see how hard it is for your teachers to do this every day. Do you have a newfound respect for that? It's hard, isn't it? Okay, so well done here with respect to that. So let's talk here a little bit here. I like the idea here about the slogan and about the cost situation. So help me to better understand about the slogan here. When you say about the hot dog is longer than, what would you suggest here to fill in that blank here? Just give me a little bit of a better understanding here. What would you envision that our customers, how they might answer that question?
So we'd like to use something that, well, they would have in their hands. So you could say a phone, or something relatable to their everyday lives, which will pop out at them.
Okay.
As I already said, a phone, maybe a toothbrush.
Also, we want it to be something that is longer than a normal hot dog.
Okay. So to get to the fact that it is, a foot-long hot dog, not a shorter hot dog. Okay. Any other suggestions here? Because I think that's what you're looking at here. Is in addition to having a slogan, something auditory, something that we hear to help with the memory of this. You're also wanting to come in with that visual aspect of it here, of what it is the person is holding, and then also having the customer, by them thinking about that. About what that object is, that's also having them involved here with that.
And I really do like the statistics that you used, and so I want to say I see a possible advertising firm here in the future. But well done. I wanted to ask you a little bit about I like that you incorporated using our vintage style into this idea. I think that's great because I think at Eddie's Grill, that's something that we truly cherish, and I believe that our customers cherish that, and that's our connection with the people that come to visit us. We love that. So in regard to that vintage style, how would you incorporate that concept into this when you mentioned it?
Well, I can see many ways you could do this. You could do it with, so I was looking online, there were pictures of old campaigns that had posters with the vintage style, like the wording and the scratch marks and things in the videos. I mean, if you wanted to, you could do like the characters. I mean, if you could have them wearing old clothes or have like the video style, like filters or something that relate to old things.
Or maybe use an old camera for the ad.
Great ideas all the way
Using
around.
old photography for that. What about items that are at the grill? Could we use anything that we currently utilize here from which to win this campaign?
Maybe like you could use like the music plays at tables.
Okay.
Old cash.
Okay.
Cash register.
Okay, like how big is this in relation to, you know, a 45 record or a jukebox? Okay, maybe we're tying that into it. Okay.
Great answers.
And I appreciate the time as well. I took mine off here today with the heat, but I appreciate that as well. So very, very well done. Any other questions that we have for this team? I'm very impressed. Anything else? Anything else from back here? No? Okay. Well done, gentlemen.
Twitter has over 336 million people that use Twitter daily.
Can I ask a favor here before you start? Can you introduce yourselves here so we can all hear who you are? We know Gab, or excuse me, we have Gianna here from introducing this, but so yeah.
I'm Logan Randolph.
Sure.
I'm Abby Brown. I'm Reagan Knox.
Okay, very good.
How will Twitter help? How much will it cost to run an ad? The cost to run an ad on Twitter really depends on the type. The cost would be $4 on average. Instagram. The current population on Instagram is 800 million people in ages 25 to 34.
How will Instagram help? How much would it cost to run an ad on Instagram? It would cost $6.70 per 1,000 views to run an ad on Instagram. Benefits for Instagram. What benefit would that be? The benefit would be that a lot of people use Instagram. There are over 500 million users active daily. Most of them are ages 25 to 34. Snapchat. Snapchat's current population is 158 million people. If we run an ad on Snapchat, it may cost a lot of money, but it would help you increase without changing your tradition. How will Snapchat help? How much will it cost? Snap Ads, which is Snapchat's mobile video ads offering, starting at around $3,000 per month in ad spend. What benefit would that be? Running an ad would benefit your business because lots of people use Snapchat, and when they go on Snapchat, they could see the ad.
We can see it, and they would start to go to Eddie's Grill. We saw it.
Buzzers for the tables. How much would it cost to buy buzzers? For 60 buzzers, it would be $1,868 for the whole set. The website for them is guestpagers.com. people that go to Eddie's Grill talk to each other, so most of the time they don't hear the speaker. If there is buzzers, then they could know when their food is ready because they will feel it buzz. Painting the tables. How much will it cost? The average cost would be anywhere from $20 to as much as $100 per gallon. Benefits for painting the tables would that be to draw in a cleaner appearance, and if you would like, you could also paint the tables outside too. And that's all.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good ideas in there.
So let me ask you this, are these, you have a multitude of different ideas that are presented here. Did you work collaboratively on this? Did you come up with these all together, or were each one of these your own individual ideas? Individually ideas. So, who was it who came up with the idea for Twitter then, about doing a Twitter campaign? So that's Logan here, okay? So Logan, you mentioned that there's 336 million users here on Twitter, so we have a lot of persons who utilize that. And you said ads would cost about $4 per ad. So what would we need to do from which to create a Twitter account? How do we make that happen? How do we reach those 336 million users?
You could create your account, and then you could post on there,
Okay.
and there might, and then you could just maybe try and get more people and maybe post like stuff every day.
So how does someone, and I know nothing about Twitter, okay? I've never sent a tweet, okay? So, how would I get to, so when I set up the account, how do I get persons to look at my Twitter account?
Usually there's a home page, and if you scroll down far enough, then most people tweet. So maybe the nearby tweets can go out, and they can reach people from around this area.
So if I send out a tweet, it'll go out to other persons who use Twitter around us here. And so you're hoping it will build up upon for that. And so an advertisement is $4, is that, 144 characters? Is that how that works? Am I limited to how big the ad is, or no?
I think so.
You don't think so? Okay. Who had the idea of Instagram? Okay, so we have Reagan here. So, Reagan, you mentioned about that they're interesting here. You indicated that the person who utilize Instagram are younger persons, 25 to 34. So you're actually talking about something here about if we want to focus on having younger persons come in, okay? What are we going to do in the future from which to be able to attract younger users? So it's $6.70 per 1,000 views. So same thing, how do I set up an Instagram account? How would that occur?
Well, if you create an account and then you can kind of get it to the home page of it when you first click on the Instagram, and at the top there's all these stories that people share, and you can share pictures and videos of it and show how much of a good time people there are having.
Right.
And most people that would see that would think that it would be really cool to go there and do it.
Okay. And so you mentioned it's $6.70 per 1,000 viewers. How do we again have persons to know about our Instagram site? How would they know to follow? Do they follow you on Instagram? How does that happen?
Yeah, they follow you.
People can see it everyone, even if you aren't being followed.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone can see those. Now, how would one of the things I'm concerned about is I heard that there's millions of persons that could click on this, as many as 336 million people. So my concern here is what if we had 300 million persons snap or click our spot there? How are we going to afford it? I mean, can we limit that advertisement cost?
After a period of time, I And you could probably shut down the advertisement.
Okay, you can shut it down after a period of time. So is it a fixed cost that they charge me? Like, will they do like a campaign? If I said, I want to do a $200 campaign, would they do that? Or I wait to get the bill and then I have to make a determination if I want to stop it? Do you know what I mean when I'm asking that question? Yeah?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just asking. Because I know nothing about it, so that's why I asked. What about Snapchat? Who came up with that idea? Okay, so Gabby, talk to me here about Snapchat here. So same thing here, 158 million people, $3,000 a month. So how do I open up a Snapchat account here? How does that happen?
You make an account and then you could add people on it and they can see pictures that you take and put on your story.
So I have to seek out these customers, or are they going to find our ad? Is it sent out to the public, or I have to have persons like my Snapchat account? I'm not sure how that works.
They have to be following you.
They have to be following you. So how do we get persons to follow our Snapchat account?
On your Facebook, you could put your Snapchat name and then they could add you on there.
Okay.
It's your story.
Now, it's my understanding that these are like temporary ads and then they like leave your phone, or how does that work?
On Snapchat, the story can be up. It's just 20. It's on your story for 24 hours, and then it gets like.
And then after that, it's gone. Do you have any idea or any suggestions for us, like how many Snapchat stories would we want to put out in a year's time? What would you recommend?
Maybe one every 2 months.
Once every couple of months?
A lot of money.
Just based on the cost here of it, okay. So, the last person that we have here, so we had the suggestion about painting things up, about painting the table. So we have those old Formica tables that are there, okay, is what you mentioned here. And you mentioned maybe, painting those tables, or should we put new Formica there? What are you suggesting with respect to that?
Or you can just like paint white over or any color. Maybe it would,
That's what we're trying to learn from you here, okay? So we're trying to learn from you.
So I have a question, and I've learned a lot from your presentation, all of you. So collectively, after what all of you have learned from pulling information from each of these, whether it be Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram, what would be your thought in regard to what you've learned? Which one would we start with? Any ideas? If we were to start with one of these ideas, which one would you recommend and why?
Probably painting the tables because, people kind of like cleaner. Maybe not as...
And maybe Snapchat, because on your story it doesn't cost any money to put on pictures and videos.
Okay.
So that there's no cost. We can post pictures on Snapchat and it doesn't cost us anything.
It doesn't cost you anything.
And then you can get the Facebook users to follow your Snapchat so everyone can see.
Okay, so that we can coordinate those two things, okay? So you took a look at our Facebook page? What do you think of that? Is that okay or no? We just need to link it with something else, with maybe Snapchat and Twitter and something else. Any other ideas?
on Snapchat, you can hit your own story or the whole world, so everybody else can see.
Oh, okay. Well, very good.
Great.
Okay, any other questions?
And how long have you had those? Is that the same style table from the very beginning?
So yeah, so there's that style of counters that are even in the front that are probably, original.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that turquoise, Formica that's on that front counter, and then the white Formica inside and so there is a little bit, yeah.
It might have been replaced once
Yeah.
in all the years, I want to say 60s or 70s, but of course the areas that are white the most, those are the areas where there's no color, and I think that's what
What
you're
you're
referencing. So you're absolutely right, that great observation.
Very good, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stolfer Acre.
How many acres on the site?
100 or so.
So before the survey, our ideas were to sell bumper stickers and have people put them on their cars. The other idea was to sell punch cards. After our survey, we found out that not many people would put bumper stickers on their cars, but they would use punch cards instead. They earned towards food. They earned rewards towards food because everybody else needs. The benefits of punch cards is the average time to start at each girl, which is about twice a year without a punch card, 19 out of 20 people. 20 surveyors stated that they would go more often if they had punch cards.
Another reason punch cards would be helpful is because it would be a way of advertising. When customers open their wallet, they would be reminded of Eddie's.
Throughout the whole survey, our ideas were to make Eddie's have punch cards because 19 out of 20 people wanted a punch card in their survey. So in conclusion, we came up with the idea to have Eddie's Grill add punch cards to their store because all the data shows that punch cards would be the best decision for Eddie's to bring in more customers and help them in the future.
Okay, so this group here, okay. So this group actually conducted a survey here. You conducted a survey. So who did you survey? How many people did you survey? Was it 20 persons? Who did you survey?
High schoolers.
So you went to high schoolers, so you went to the high school, and so were all of the 20 persons that you surveyed high school students, or were there some who were over 18 or outside of high school?
They were all high schoolers.
It was all high schoolers, okay? So so that's what you have here is this high school. You're again focusing here on younger persons here. Will we convince them to come to Eddie's Grill more? And I think there was someone else who said like the average student maybe comes to the grill a couple times a year. Is that right? And so that punch card would maybe encourage them to come here more often. Okay.
So in regard to the punch cards, do you have any examples of what a punch card for Eddie's Grill might look like, might include, and what would be the reward? Any ideas on that? Suggestions?
Maybe make it like old, like the tradition, so it's still part of the tradition.
And what should customers get? So if they come, what, I'm trying to understand
Say
that.
they come 2 times. What do you think that they would get or receive the 3rd time or the 4th time? Or what would they have to buy to get something else?
Maybe they can get like a side of fries free or like 20% off or something.
Okay.
Okay. Are there other restaurants that do this? Anyone else who does this? If we wanted like further examples, do you know that? It's okay. Do you have any idea of like how much this could increase our business by? What do you think?
It'll encourage them to go more, and like if they buy a long hot dog, if they buy that 10 times, then look at more money than twice.
Okay. So, I think you were the one who mentioned that if we had the punch card, we may want to make it like older and stick with our tradition. And I think one of your slides was saying that it's like a memory. Like anytime someone opens up their wallet, they'll see that. So is there some sort of logo or picture? Is there something you would recommend of what we should have on that punch card?
Maybe a sign out front.
Maybe the sign out front here, so say Eddie's Grill there. And then who would and among our staff, who would punch this card? Who is that? Then the person who takes the money when you order, or how would that work out?
Probably when you order, like after you're finished, then they punch it and then get it back.
Okay. So give me a little bit of a better idea. If you want to kind of talk amongst yourselves to think about this here, is I heard about maybe offering 20% off or a side of fries or buy 10 hot dogs, get one free. I would like sort of like better clarity here from you. What do you think? What would you suggest? What would be the best thing here for that? Because I know like a coffee shop, I know, I just got a coffee before I came here, and if I buy, I think 10 or 12 cups of coffee, I get a free coffee. Is that something that would be appealing to younger persons? Or is there something better we could do? And I'm looking at you, because you're our target audience here. I want to know what's going to happen. What would convince you to come when you get into high school? What would convince you to come more often to Eddie's Grill?
Probably the punch cards, it would help with, like, you would know that when you go, you would have probably deals on the food and the
So if, say for instance, you came to Eddie's Grill and you bought a sandwich, for instance, a hot dog, and then you bought another sandwich the second time, say a cheeseburger, would you think it would be a good thing? Would it make you want to go back? So the next time, the third time you go back, you order your sandwich, your cheeseburger, your hot dog, and you get, for instance, you got a free French fry or a pop or a soda. Is that something that would make you want to go back? Because you... Okay.
Very good. Anything else? Any other questions? All right, well, very good then.